Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of Build Talk. And my name is Simon. I'm a member of the EPiraten band. We produce music. We wanted a way to promote our music. So we decided to combine the passion of music with our passion for architecture and Minecraft. And so we came up with the idea to create a Minecraft blueprints project, and we would use this to talk about architecture, music, and all that sort of stuff. And I just realized now that the game audio isn't working, so let me just quickly try that again. That should be better, I think. Yeah, there we go. So this is the Minecraft Blueprint project, and if you were following us over the course of the last few months, you'll know that we've got to the stage where we're coming up on the completion of Notre Dame. Last week, I believe we had just about finished the transept, which is this section here. And I said to you that we would probably be able to complete this choir section, I think it's called, this week, which we have done. And well, we've done the outside, let's put it that way. There's quite a lot that needs to be finished on the inside, but we're making quite a lot of progress on the outside. So this week's issues, there was I had to make a decision whether to do these buildings on the outside here. I think they're like vestries. I think this section here is. I decided I would put in the blueprint plan for the buildings first. I would complete the main building of the cathedral, and then could look to do the modifications for this part of the building. That's one part of it. The second part, that was, what else did we find? It was difficult. It was pretty. Once we got the flying buttresses sorted, it was quite an easy process to complete. There is a difference between this end and the other end. You can see this, the way these arches are built here is different. And when you get to the back of the cathedral, the eastern side, then there come more these sort of pinnacle things here. So that was one issue that we had. I'm not quite sure about these sections in here. It's very difficult to get some photographs in this sort of corner. I'm happy with it, but there could be room for improvement. If anyone has any advice, then please let me know. The other thing we had was the door. I think it's called the red door, though I've put it in as brown. And so that was a little bit of a differentiation, and I had to make some guesses on what it looks like on the inside. But But as you can see, there's a lot of work needs to be doing inside the cathedral. There's the roof has not been completed as of now, and the we will have to do make sure we can get some good shots to complete these parts. But this project is mainly about scale and comparison, so I will always just try to get the outside done first, and then we can work on this later. This obviously needs to be completed. These towers we've done on the outside. We need to see what we can come up with for this part here, but we'll get the outside sorted. We'll work on the vaulting pretty soon. But as you can see now, we're starting to work on this eastern end. It's the sort of circular end, so we're going to have definitely going to have some trial and error in this area here. I started by working on this sort of lower outer sort of wall section here, and we'll bring it up and complete this part. And then I was building the pillars, making sure they're in, but each because we're now moving into an area which is a little bit less regular, you know, the distances between stuff, then it's going to be a lot more trial and error. And I'd like to thank the people who were watching when I was doing this live. It's good to see people watching and knowing that they're finding it kind of interesting. So we will work on this sort of the curved area around here, bringing this around, and hopefully we can get a decent finish to it. But I will probably predict that this is going to take a little bit longer than the last section, so we might not get this done by next week's show. This is this is Notre Dame. Anyone who's new, this is what we're going to do. What we have here is a blueprint. We won't be doing textures and colors. Is keeping it in the in that architect's white model kind of look. It means there's less thinking going on what the colors should look like. I can just easily just not have to think about those sort of stuff. We just sometimes think of the glass color. We do use quartz. It's got, if you look closely, you got the brickwork. When you come down to these columns, we've got columns, brickwork, just the pure quartz blocks, and usually keystones are these decorative ones. So that's the main thing. We've got the half blocks, the L-shaped blocks being used. And then the only other things we use are these railings. We've got this, I think it's diorite columns. This, I think, is a beechwood fencing panels. We've got the armor stands, which we need to put some armor on to make them look the right color. And that's basically all we use. Well, we got some buttons for these decorative sections of the spire. Apart from that, I think that's the main, that's all this is made out of. And this is the basic Bedrock edition of Minecraft. You don't have to get anything special for this. And it's just working off photographs of the actual cathedral. the scale is the usual 1:1. So 1 meter square cubed is 1 block. And so you can see then when we do this, we'll get immediate comparisons between cathedrals around the world. And also, so if you're all new as well, the blueprint, the blue part of the build is actually represents time in the north-south axis. So we're facing north now. The sun is just going down in the west, and this one of these blocks represents 1 year. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and this block here is the 1163. You can see in the top left-hand corner the coordinates. You see the 163, so that's 1163. So that is the year. I think might not actually. No, I might not be right, but I think 0 was the 0 dot. Yeah, it's not. Sorry, I got that wrong. This obelisk over here is very small. A little obelisk here is the origin. This is the 0000 square. The block underneath this, and so this is all these years are relative to that. It's not, so Salisbury Cathedral is basically around about 1330 when it gets completed. So the line you're looking at along here is the year 1330. And then down at this end here is 1220, and that is actually the length that of time it took them to build. So the foundation stone was laid in 1220, and the cathedral was completed in 1330. So that's 110 blocks between those two, and it just so happens that Salisbury Cathedral actually fits inside that blueprint. And over here we've got Notre Dame, and so this is built foundation stone laid in 1163, and the cathedral was finished in 1260. So you get immediate. You can see that Salisbury Cathedral was begun halfway through the construction of Notre Dame, and you can see that Notre Dame was finished pretty much halfway through the construction of Salisbury Cathedral. So we have these lines here. This is the centuries scaling back, and the idea is that on this sort of north-south axis, we'll be able to put buildings that were built at the same time. So we have got over here the blueprint being prepared for Lincoln Cathedral, so that we'll be able to see again the sort of comparisons between the ones. So we know that Notre Dame was begun in 1163, and Lincoln was begun in 1185. So not too after Notre Dame was built, and again finished just before Salisbury Cathedral. And whilst we're here, I thought I showed this last time, but we'll follow this timeline backwards. And this we'll do this live as well. So this is going to show you the scale of time. This is a spatial representation of time. So now we're going south, so we're going back in time, and so we should be able to place the different buildings either side of this timeline going all the way back. And I thought it was really cool to go back to some of the earliest buildings I'm likely to build, and I put in Stonehenge. So as you can see, we're going back now. This is the year 100, and then we get to the birth of Christ here, the year 0, and now we're going into BC years. As you can see, I've marked it out, but I haven't actually, for this point, I haven't finished the actual timelines and added the dates in. But you can see here the spatial representation of time. And we're going back to Stonehenge, and that was around about completed in around about 1500 BC. And from that point on there, I think the scale of production, or the time of production, was so large. I decided that we'll probably leave that there. The other building I definitely want to put in would be the pyramids of Giza, which was it overlapped the construction of Stonehenge a little bit. So now we're getting 1300 BC, 1400 BC, and then we get to 1500 BC. So in that time where we've been moving, you get the visual representation of time. And then we're going back now into the spatial awareness of time, the one-to-one reconstruction. And so this is Stonehenge. This is the was built over 3 phases, and it began in 3100 BC. So I thought I would, after 1500, we'll probably then be moving in more like millennia rather than centuries, and we'll be able to put over on the other side here the pyramids of Giza, because it will overlap Stonehenge a little bit. And I say Stonehenge was made in 3 phases. We have the outer bank and ditch with some wooden holes. This was the first phase. This is the phase that was begun in 3100 BC. And then we have the second phase. This is when these blue stones were brought from Pembrokeshire in Wales, brought over probably by sledges or some boats floated down rivers or possibly along the coast, and brought up to Salisbury Plain and placed here. Not necessarily in this configuration, they might have been moved later. And then you've got the third phase where we have these triptychs being brought from, I think, a source near Marlborough, about 20 miles away. And that forms this, the outer circle, with these, I think they're called station stones being placed. And there's obviously there was some reconfiguration of stones on some astronomical alignment way. We have the heel stone down here, which is where the sun rises on the summer solstice, and there's some other alignments to do with the moons, with the station stones and the winter solstice as well. So if we just wait here, we'll probably see the sun come up at some point. And whilst we do, I'd just like to thank everybody who's started to follow us. I really appreciate it. I operate 2 channels, and one of them is this one. This is the EPiraten music channel, and this is where we do these Minecraft videos. We do real-time construction videos. We do time-lapse videos with our music on it, and we also have these sort of build talks. So here we go. Here comes the sun rising up over the Heelstone. I'm stood here now facing east. Oh well, it wouldn't be east in at the summer solstice. It'd be more like sort of I think about northeast. But this is the altar stone here. We're stood up, and so you can see the significance of the positioning of that Heelstone. If you ever come to Stonehenge, the Heelstone, I think, is on the close to the road on the fence, and you actually find that the sort of road comes sort of along this way like that. So that's Stonehenge. We will be putting in the Pyramid of Giza down here. So let's fly back, showing you this representation of time. When you see it like this, you get a real sense of the scale of things, of how long things took to build. And obviously, we're going to get a sort of an inverted pyramid as we come up here, as we get more and more buildings being constructed. But there's probably not much between Stonehenge and Giza, really, that and not until we get to sort of Roman times when there's anything we're going to actually probably build. Plans for this project at the moment. I think, as I say, I've got plans for the pyramids. I wanted to do Lincoln Cathedral, and I wanted to do St. Paul's Cathedral, and probably at some point we'll attempt the Seguria Gaudi's Familia Barcelona Cathedral, which will probably be one of the most challenging builds. We also don't want to just do churches. I want to do other buildings. I think I probably might try Houses of Parliament, Taj Mahal, things like that. And it will just be coming back and doing an update each week. So if you have any questions or appreciate this, then leave a comment. Leave any questions you've got, and I will attempt to answer them in the next build talk. And if you need anything to be a close-up look at, just let me know. Feel free to use these videos, make your own, do your own stuff. I look forward to seeing the builds that you do, and make sure you like and subscribe, because we're a very young channel, and having some likes helps a lot. And this, by the way, is the blueprint that we'll be probably working on next. This is St. Paul's Cathedral, and as you can see, I've had to truncate the left-hand side of the blueprint because the cathedral was built so quickly. It only took 35 years for the St. Paul's to be completed. So I couldn't fit it in on a one-to-one scale. In that space, St. Paul's is more than 35 meters wide, so that's why this is a truncated thing. And I will also try to complete this timeline. We'll get up to the 21st century, and we'll be able to really see the sort of scale of buildings that have been completed. So we're likely to be building some of the skyscrapers of the 20th century as well. Hello, Sammy. How are you doing? Good to see you. So if that is all I got for the update right now, hopefully I will try to get Notre Dame finished, at least on the outside, by this time next week. You'll find that I'll pop on every now and then and just be building. Don't tend to talk during those streams. They're just there as me building, and I will also pop those videos onto YouTube at some point. So yeah, this is Notre Dame. I'm liking it. I think it's coming along really well, and it has been a joy, this one to build. I say there's some been some challenges at this end. Here is going to be a big challenge because of the nature of the shape, and there's been some issues I've got with some parts. It's very difficult to see, especially in here. This has always been very difficult areas to get some photographs. So I had to sort of interpret what was going on from what we can see and what we can see from the inside. There's some details we need to put in. I quite like these gargoyles and grotesques. And you get a real sense that, especially the towers of Notre Dame are more weighty than Salisbury Cathedral. The nave of Notre Dame is a lot quite significantly higher than Salisbury Cathedral. So when you talk about French Gothic, you get this sort of sense, a little bit more bulky in its construction, whereas Salisbury Cathedral is early English Gothic, has I would say a lighter feel to it, and that might explain why Salisbury Cathedral has a spire. The construction feels lighter, looks lighter, and Notre Dame, I think I'm right in saying, was supposed to have some spires put on the towers, but they were never completed. So they would likely have been of similar proportion maybe to Salisbury, but they never happened. They just went for the one in the center. So yeah, that's the benefit of this Minecraft project. You get to do some pretty good comparisons on it. Right, so I hope you enjoyed that. I will see you again then. There'll be another build talk next week. There will also be some radio sessions where we do some music of EPiraten. We'll do some jam sessions on some music we're doing. And I'll continue to put in some build work during the week. But on that note, I will leave you with a nice overhead shot of Notre Dame. And I will see you next week.